Welcome to day 90 of our school year. We finished another row. Let's go ahead and get down our beginning fraction. We have a total of 180 school days, so that's our denominator, and our numerator is 90. Now you have to think, is 90, is that numerator prime or composite? Well, it's an even number, and the only even number that's prime is the number 2, so it has to be composite. If you are not sure, you can always check on the prime number sieve. So that means we have to do the prime factorization for both 180 and for 90. Okay, so remember our first 5 prime, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. Okay, let's see. Well, both of them are even, so that means 2 is going to be a factor for both. So I'm going to start with 2 with this. Half of 18 is 9 tenths. Half of 18 tenths is 9 tenths. Let's see. I can divide by 3. I could get 30 groups of 3 out of 90. I can divide by 3 again, and I get 10. Divide by 2, I get 5. Okay, for 90, I can divide by 3 and get 30. I can divide by 5 and get 6. I can divide by 2 and get 3. So let's go ahead and get down our prime factorization. For our denominator, from least to greatest, 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 5. For our numerator, we have 2 times 3 times 3 times 5. So let's see what we have in common with both. 2 times 3 times 3 times 5 is what we have in both. So the whole numerator is gone, so that leaves a 1 in the numerator and then a 2 in the denominator, 1/2. That means our greatest common factor is 90. Because if you notice, when we got to our prime factorization here, we ended up with 90. So everything here is common. All right, so greatest common factor, we're making groups of 90. How many groups of 90 do we have? 1, 2. How many are shaded in? Just 1. 90 is half of 180. And half is one of those special numbers that we can turn into a percent or a 100. I can do that by multiplying by 50. Because we want to get per, through or thorough, cent. Cent means 100, so per 100. So 2 times 50 is 100, 1 times 50 is 50. So we get 50 hundredths, like 50 cents is half of a dollar. You can also say 5 tenths or 50%. 50% is exactly half, 1/2. But we do want to prove it, so we want to use our algorithm to prove that 1/2 is actually our simplest form. So 180 divided by 90, 90 divided by 90. Let's see, one group of 90 is 90. Numbers the same, 0 is the game, and this is just 18, take away 9, which is 9. Bring that up here. 90 times 1 is 90. Numbers the same, 0 is the game. Add our partial quotients together, and we get 2. Here, 1 times 90 is 90. Numbers the same, zeros the game. So we get 1. Still want to check. Divisor times quotient plus remainder. Divisor times quotient plus remainder. Since our remainder is 0 for both, and the identity property of addition says when you add 0 it stays the same, we don't need to add 0. 2 groups of 0 is 0. 2 groups of 9 tenths is 18 tenths. Here we have the identity property of multiplication. When you multiply by 1, it stays the same. 1 group of 0 is 0. 1 group of 9 tenths is 9 tenths. 90 matches our dividend. Check. 180 matches our dividend. Check. So that means our numerator is definitely 1 and our denominator is definitely 2. Now let's go ahead and fill in our data collection page. We're still in trimester 2, week 7, but today is a special day. Not only are we back from our winter break, but it is exactly half of the school year completed. 1/2, which is the same as 5 tenths, which is the same as 50 hundredths, which is the same as 50% of the school year completed. We have 50% to go, so we're exactly halfway. And with that, let's get out our number line. We did groups of 90. So if we look at our groups of 90, it's our second to last line. Right here is our first line because there's 2 groups. So we put 1/2. But not only do we put 1/2 there, we're going to go ahead and put all the equivalent fractions up to 1/2. We're going to get caught up to that. So there is no mark on this one because there's no, this is not an even number to break up into half. So only the ones that have even number denominators will work with this. So this is 1/2. Okay, skip this one. We have 2/4 is equivalent to 1/2. There's none here. This would be 3/6. So we also need to get down this one that's right here. This would be 2/6. 2/6. 3/6 is exactly half. None here. Here would be 5 tenths because 5 is half of 10. This one that's missing we have to get down, which is 4 tenths. Here is 6/12. 6 is half of 12. None here. Here would be 9/18. And our missing one here is 8/18. Here would be 10/20. Here would be 15/30. And our missing one is 14/30. Here is 18/36. None here. Here is 30/60. Here is 45/90, and our missing one here is 44/90. So at this time you should have all fractions up to the halfway mark on all but the last line. So we should have it all up to the halfway mark. That's our half of year so far. All right, go ahead and put your number line away, erase your worksheet, and thank you for joining me.